truly uncover the stand at Karbala, we must first master the decades of complex history that paved the road towards it. I've been making contradiction-free videos about the life of Imam Hasan, and I have cross-referenced sources from both traditions to uncover it. So if you haven't watched the last episodes regarding the life of Imam Hasan from his childhood to the Caliphate of Ali in Kufa, you must visit my playlist. With that, let's begin our episode 6 of the life of Imam Hasan. The first fitna laid the foundations for the growing divide between Sunni and Shia interpretations of Islamic leadership. The struggles that began during Ali's caliphate would not end with his death. Instead, they would continue through his sons, Hassan and Hussain. Within a generation, those tensions would culminate in one of the most defining events in Islamic history, the tragedy of Karbala. After Ali was assassinated by a Kharji in 661 CE, Hasan ibn Ali was acknowledged Caliph in Kufa, but his sovereignty was not recognized by Mauwiya, the governor of Syria and a rival claimant to the caliphate, who led an army into Kufa while pressing Hassan for abdication in letters. Hassan's military position deteriorated quickly. His forces, reported by Tabari to number around 40,000, suffered from low morale and logistical vulnerabilities in Iraq, while Mauwiya commanded a disciplined, well-supplied Syrian army. What broke Hassan's position decisively was internal betrayal, not battlefield defeat. His top commander, Ubaidullah bin al-Abbas, was bribed by Mauwiya and defected, inducing two-thirds of the vanguard force to break away with him, throwing Hassan's camp into disorder at the most critical juncture. Hassan faced a mutiny in his camp, likely instigated by Mauwiya's spies, and was severely wounded in a failed assassination attempt by Kharjites, which demoralized his army and led to the widespread desertion. A separate Sunni-leaning biographical source corroborates this independently. A rumor spread that Hassan's commander, Qais ibn Sa'd, had been killed. It caused chaos and people deserted, and looting became rampant, to the point that Hassan himself was attacked and wounded. At this point, he had no choice but to initiate peace talks with Mauwiya. Let's look into the details of the treaty itself. The treaty, or the Sulah, is recorded with varying details across nearly every classical historian. No two early sources agree completely on the exact wording or the number of conditions. This is explicitly noted by scholars examining the sources side by side. Tabari records 3 conditions directly from Awana bin Hakam and a 4th indirectly. The historian Navari mentions 4 conditions but draws from different sources. Ibn Abi al-Hadid takes 3 conditions from al-Madaini. Among the old historical records, only al-Fatu of Ibn Asam al-Kufi and Ansab al-Ashraf by al-Baladhuri contain the full text of the treaty with 5 terms and conditions. Now let us look into the core conditions. The first condition: Mauwiya would govern by Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet, following the precedent of the earlier caliphs. The Baladhuri version of the actual treaty text reads, "This is the peace treaty between Al-Hasan ibn Ali and Mauwiya bin Abi Sufyan. I declare peace between us and hand the caliphate on to him on condition that Mauwiya would act according to God's book and Prophet's Sunnah and the method of the 4 caliphs." The second condition: no hereditary succession. A shura would choose the next caliph, or in some versions, authority would specifically revert to Hassan or Hussain after Mauwiya. Baladhuri's text continues, he would not pass anyone as his successor, and after his death, the caliphate would be dealt by a council of Muslims. A separately compiled list of early reports states this more pointedly. The authority should return to Hassan after Mauwiya, and if an accident occurs, the authority should go to Hassan. Condition number 3. Mauwiya would stop the public cursing of Ali, including in the Qunut. This is recorded directly. Mauwiya should abandon the practice of cursing Ali, including the Qunut of the prayers. Mauwiya should not mention Ali unless in a good manner. The biographical source on Hussain states this even more simply as one of the treaty's headline conditions. Condition number 4. General amnesty or security for Ali's supporters and family. The people should be safe wherever they are. The companions of Ali should be given security wherever they are. Mauwiya should not seek to wrong Hassan, Hussain, or anyone from Muhammad's household secretly or openly. Condition number 5. Financial provisions are disputed in detail but widely reported. Mauwiya should send al-Hussain 1 million dirhams a year. He should prefer the children of Hashim in giving gifts to the Banu Abd Shams and should divide 1 million dirhams among the sons of those who were killed with the commander of the faithful at the Battle of Camel and Siffin. Condition number 6. Mauwiya would not be called commander of the faithful by Hassan personally. A striking detail that some scholars use to argue Hassan never personally recognized Mauwiya's religious legitimacy. One of the conditions of the peace treaty between Imam Hasan and Mauwiya reads that Hasan ibn Ali makes peace on the condition that he will not be under an obligation to call Mauwiya the commander of the faithful. It meant that he did not recognize Mauwiya to be the Caliph and the commander of the faithful. Both Tabari and Baladhuri records a version where Mauwiya sent Hassan a signed blank sheet to write his own terms on. But the two accounts differ in historically significant ways. Shia tradition strongly prefers Baladhuri's version. Al-Baladhuri writes, Mauwiya sent a sealed blank paper to al-Hassan so that he would write in it whatever he wishes. The Tabari version, by contrast, suggests a dispute over later added terms, which the Shia scholar al-Shahidi dismisses outright. Shahidi writes, undoubtedly the story was made up by the historians belonging to Banu Umayyah, or they have reversed the reality and added false information to it. More surprisingly, what al-Tabari has mentioned is much more similar to a legend or humor rather than a historical narrative.